Welcome to the Learn Linux in 5 Days course. On day 1, you'll learn what Linux is, how it came to be, and some of its strengths and weaknesses. You'll also learn a few different methods to gaining access to an already installed and running Linux system. If you want to learn how to install Linux on your own, don't worry, you'll learn how to do that too. Finally, on day 1, we'll talk about the various ways to connect to a Linux system and the software you'll need to do so. You'll start out day 2 by learning about the Linux directory structure and where various components of the operating system reside. Next, you'll get an introduction to the Linux command line interface and learn some of the most essential and often used commands. Even the most experienced Linux users need help from time to time, and you'll learn how and where to find that as well. You'll also learn about the superuser account, why it exists, and when you need to use it. You'll wrap up day 2 by learning some directory shortcuts and how to navigate about the file system. Day 3 will include lessons on file and directory permissions. You'll learn how to read permissions, what they mean, and how to set them. You'll also pick up some tips on working with groups and the permissions you should use when doing so. Next, you'll learn 2 commands that will help you find any file or directory on a Linux system. You'll learn how to view the contents of files and how to edit them. We'll also cover command line editors as well as editors that you can use in a graphical environment. You'll start out day 4 by learning how to delete, copy, move, and rename files and directories. You'll tackle input and output redirection before learning how to compare the contents of files and directories. Next, I'll show you how to search for data within files. You'll learn how to customize your command line shell prompt to your liking and learn how to use aliases. Finally, on day 4, you'll learn how to transfer data between your local operating system and a Linux host. You'll even learn how to copy files from one Linux system to another. On the final day, you'll learn how to examine and manipulate processes and jobs. You'll learn how to automate tasks and make them recurring events. We'll talk about how to switch between users on a Linux system too. You'll also pick up some tips that will greatly speed up your workflow at the command line. Finally, you'll wrap up the course with learning how to find, install, update, and remove software.